Well, let's get started. Hello and welcome to the stream where we will continue on our journey to create an dungeon crawler game. Now, what I had in my head now is the following. We have just one line of three lines of code to fix, which I didn't do in the last time, and that's exactly in our map script. But first we will get the lines we have to change from our global game logic dungeon from the rooms, because here we already fixed the issue, which are those two lines, and I want to actually just copy the font part, and I want to add that in the map script where I also check the difference. Well, not that one. That one is the right one. Yeah, I will just select that, change those around that I don't cast them into int anymore, and encapsulate them. Finish that encapsulation, and then this part will be correct as well. That's probably the reason, because those things have broken together, and yeah, this one should now be safe that I never get any rooms which will be overlapping. Alright, just have a quick check. Everything in here looks alright. The entrances have a little slightly light hue in the color. That's because I'm currently preparing the movement. But there is just one thing I have to check, because this would be essential. Alright. Okay. Mhm. Alright, this seems simple enough, then I'm happy that this will most likely work like I want it to work. Yeah, probably annoyed because I was... How exactly? Is this JSON as it says, like it says? Let's have a quick look. Mhm. Didn't really look like it did what it was supposed to do. Do I have to select it over there, maybe? And I don't actually know what this does. That's great, but not important. Let's get then some movement script going, which will be another large project. But after that, the majority of the complicated stuff will be done. But there's the only thing I have to wrap my head around is how I actually will get those areas. First we should start with a spawn point anyway. And this one would be in here, where I can just create an empty, which I can call spawn point. And that should always be in the entrance anyway. Let's zero that one up. And we move it, let's say, over there in that example. Yes, now I want to add the player character, which is currently just a simple how's it called? A simple capsule, that's it. So for that we want in our dungeon room a reference for the spawn point, or do we get that in the dungeon map? Well, let's get it in the dungeon map where we are already staying. This will be the game object, so we need a not there. I want that one. Private should be fine. We get a serialized field. Private game object, which we can just call spawn point. We don't want it serialized because that one gets created from script, obviously. Alright. Then after the temp room got spawned, I will actually get the transformer, not the game object. The transform is completely sufficient for what I want to use. So I will just after that line, the spawn point is temp room dot transform dot want get child which we have to access with the index. Alright, does it need to be an index? Get child, yeah, it has to be an index. So let's say we will get the spawn point on the top, which means it should always stay on the top where we now there. It is index 0. Now here I will add another temporary field, which will be of type transform, which will be the player prefab. This one will be handed over later also, because we want different characters. This means that one is fine now. Alright. For now I handed this one over. Here we now want to do the spawning, which I will hand over to the dungeon map because we have that private. Since that all works now, we will add a public void for now, because I guess I don't really need a return on that one. Spawn layer. We will need parameter for that, and this will be a type transform, which we call player prefab. And I want simply instantiate player prefab on the spawn point, and I need a rotation. That rotation I will use actually from the spawn point as well. Spawn point dot rotation, and here I want it dot. Well, I just can save that line because I just say spawn point. This should be enough already. And since it will always look in this direction, we will always spawn looking in that direction. Alright. Now, Dungeon Master, we do our stuff, which means after that we will dungeon map dot spawn player, and we hand over the player prefab. Now the dungeon map will be fine like that for now. Which is okay. Now just have a quick check that everything gets initialized, and I don't see the player because I haven't assigned it. That's right. Here we go. And now we have the player standing in the room. No, actually I don't want the spawn point over there, because it's not in a tile which we will use for the movement. Then let's get that over here. And actually what we could do, we could create to empties, which I'll just call spawn point 1. And duplicate that one and call it 2. Now what I can do is say, alright, the general spawn point will be staying there, and I have one spawn point on the left tile and one spawn point on the right one. This will make the spawn script a little bit longer because now I will call hello Nemo, welcome back. Let's call get child, and we want a unity engine dot random dot range where we use 0 and spawn point get child count. Zone is obsolete. Child count. Alright, then we change it to that one. That one is then not a function anymore. And let's have a look if that works like I want it to work. And we are standing in the ground for some reason. Now this one is the left one, this one is the right one, and we got 2 times the same direction. That's interesting. Alright, let's get to the player real quick. I guess the issue is really that the capsule is on the 0. Let's make it 1 higher, so it will stand up on the ground. Which it now does. Very nice. You should cast a shadow. Well, you actually do that. All right. Now we have to get the movement script edited. For that I can use a general movement script, and for other stuff then I can inherit it if I need something special or if I want to use the enemies some other logic, but technically that should be fine. Now this would fall under global game logic. We call that movement, and we generate the script in here, also called movement. Let's call it character movement, just in case I want to use other types of movement. For now I will use fixed values. How I will change them later is something I really have made my mind up, but the important part is that the ground construct works like intended. We want movement points. Which will be of type int. Then I want another int, which we call range per point, I guess. Range per point. Just to have it clear, this will be movement range per point. And I obviously need, I guess I will use a float over here. Yeah, this one will be a float, which we call movement speed. That's alright. And that's actually all we need for now. I will also have a reference of the current room. That one is important. Private transform current room, because I have to track that. There I will for sure now need a public void. Set current room, which needs a transform. And this will basically just set the current room like that. I don't have to track the position where I am. So this would be enough for barebone movement script. Just to compare it real quick, I will look that up how I did that before. This would be this project. And enemy movement. Yeah, that one gets the speed from another, but it's technically doing the same. Alright, but what we definitely need is an update in here, which actually handles the movement, that it looks smooth. We want do we need a public for that? Yeah, a public. Actually, I want another private transform, which is movement target, which will basically be the same like that one. The public void set movement target. We need transform dot movement target. Where we make that one. That's right. Do we want to calculate our steps? Ooh. No, I guess it's fine. I will have the look direction handled different, and I don't really have. However, I should keep track of that. But private transform, look rotation. All right. So look rotation I can later change to the main script of the character, but for now I will keep it there. Now I want to highlight the range. But also I need in the room my tiles, which will be public in this case. Yeah, a public transform array, which is called movement tiles. I could do them in the spawn room function. In that case, the entrance would be the first one where I try that. And I would actually move that one to the second index. So I have them fixed for the script. I just have to remember that if I want to add new rooms. Which means let's make a list out of that. It's just something easier for me. Oops. Which I think I have to initialize. Maybe I don't need it for the way I will do that. But that's fine, I guess. We want movement tiles dot add range, where I need a collection. This will be a transform get child on the first iteration, and I want that transform. And can I get all children? Is there a function like that? Child count, we have detached children, we have find child. Yeah, I could use a string, but I don't want to because it's not safe enough. Well, I guess component in children will be the best option I have here. get component in children of type transform. Alright, and then I have to make that. Cannot counter system. But I do add range, which means this one returns. Oh, not parent. It can't work in children. I get that. Oh, quick step. This one. Just have a quick look in the documentation if it does what I want to. I'm matching components of type T. Gets references to all components on the same kind as a component and any child of the game object. That's fine. Because that is all I need in that case. So right now we don't call that function, which we should. Now we're doing. This is going to be a public, so we go over to the dungeon map, generate dungeon rooms. The room is spawned, so we go temp room script and spawn room. And this will also be done over here. And also over here, because that are the finishing rooms and those need them as well. Alright. We have the first part of that one. Call it do more stuff later. So now I want to add more stuff to it, like the handling of the torches and all that funny hour spawning. But for now, that's fine. I now have all of them. What I could do in the movement, character movement, update. We want private bool, waiting for movement, where we say one that and private bool moving. Hello paper, how are you?
Alright, they are just crying because they're not used, but this one changed for now. If waiting for movement is true, we will just return, because we don't actually have to update that anymore. But we not just want that one, we also want to check that moving is false. All right. Then we go to the next one. If waiting for movement is false and moving is false, we want to generate the movement tags. Private void show movement range. We don't need a parameter for that one. We will call that on the other hand over here, and then we have a if moving, which should be the last step. Well, it's pretty much, well, I can't call it from here. I probably don't even need to specify if moving, because it would already exit on the other parts beforehand. Alright, let's see back here. And I can actually use the easiest and simplest moving script I have available right now, and that will be we get the direction we want to move in. That is a target, which we will get here, and we get our position, and then we move towards that one, which we will just get that one removed. We need movement speed, and that one will be multiplied with time to delta time, so we get a constant movement which isn't gated by the frame rate, which is very important. All right. And if the distance is 0, this one worked pretty consistent in this project, so I will use it over here. Is 0, we will set moving is false. And for now, we also will say waiting for movement true, because yet it's not the system that will be later in place, just the general system that the movement will work itself. Now, show movement range. We need that one. This will be a more complicated one. Yes, this one will be very, very interesting, but the best part about that, I just can get the code from another project where I have a similar range calculation, not in the same context, but still the range gets like that calculated. Where is it? Is it just generate tower script? We have. Can I have calculate damage? Good. No. Possible ranges. There we go. And now we get to the magical number 4. Because 4 is great. And 4 is awesome. And it does exactly what I want. Which means I will just get that one. Copy the whole part in here. Oops, I missed a line. I wanted it down there. Now, what do I not need? I don't need that one. Possible ends. Which will be movement points. Movement points multiplied by movement range per point times 4. The 4 is very important. Does it actually check tiles which are not existing? Well, we adopted anyway, so it is good. If possible ends is 0, which means... Alright, what I already noticed, I need another one. I don't need that one serialized, because that one should be the current movement points. I need a max movement point. Because I have to track how many points I have left. Which means that one is completely fine now. If possible ends is 0, we just return, I guess. Because we don't want any tiles highlighted. Calculated ends and steps taken. Now this one will be very important that I don't run into an endless loop. But I actually think that will be right, because I just can calculate over the existing tiles and just don't have any tiles there. Which means it runs, but it runs on a dead end. I can just return it in that case, or continue the loop. Now, steps X and steps Z, which will always be 0 now, because we go... I guess 0 will be fine. I just guess. Because I will always go from my current position. Which in this case is actually correct. Now, while steps taken is smaller than range and bonus range, which will actually be that part over here. Did I really accidentally did... Oh, I know how I did that. I actually need that calculation now in here. Because those are my maximum numbers of steps I can take. Now, target contains new vector steps X and steps Z. Target is a list of vector 3. I actually want to change that one directly to transforms. Because I want to change the tiles on the go. Now, if target contains the transform, can I can't really do that to a position, so vector 3 actually is the right choice. In that case, we calculate everything. Oh, that's okay, I guess. I just blindly trusting this script right now. That one. What exactly is happening here? Oh yeah, I know what that one is doing. This one is checking the last direction, where I have to do something different. And that's fine, I guess, too. Alright, we have now all of that done. I do one number one, well, one counter steps, which means this should be translating very finely into what I will do. The only thing I have to think about is the slight inconsistency which Unity might have. So I have to use multiple if statements. But for now, I will actually swap that list out with a global variable, which I want to access in the inspector real quickly. Public list vector 3 targets. And I will... No, I don't remove that one. I will just comment that one out. And since that one is in the update loop, I will, on the first line, set waiting for movement to true. Over here it will be default false, well, it will be default null, so just to make that sure, this one will be false and this one will be false too. And now if I run that script, transform child out of bounds. Well, why not? We get the first child. Because our rooms don't have that kind of stuff. Then I will actually only call that on the starting room for now. Which means I have to comment those two out. And everything else should work completely fine. Community, don't do your janky stuff. Where now does the player spawn? Does he get a child of the spawn point? He does. That's oh, I don't have the movement script attached to the player. Well, it's kind of far away from Minecraft, but I use for the starting dungeon more like a block type for walls and that kind of stuff. So we get into the player. I want to attach the character movement script to the player itself. We give you 3 points, 2 per that, and for now I have to I need to start so I can get the movement points assigned for now, which I will start, and movement points will be max movement points over there. Alright. Then I want to change the spawning. Yeah, I will actually save that one as a transform spawn point. Well, current spawn point, or temp spawn point. We need to transform with that. Temp spawn, which will be that nice line of code. The reason is that I want to access the position and the rotation separately, so I don't get the parenting in here. Alright. Now, you don't get any errors. This one is already a very good sign. We have player clone. We have 85 targets. Is this right? Could be right. And this is right. The magic number 4 prevails again. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Very nice. I guess the movement is a bit overkill for that size though. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the movement through the whole room. Well, I definitely have to balance that one. But now, since we have actually the correct numbers stated here, it's a bit hard in the way. Let's just inch that stuff a bit more to that. Well, yeah, the viewers are getting somewhere. A bit faster than I did the Let's Play videos on German. So I can get the list in here and remove that part, because now I just need that one saved locally. I am needing of that list, otherwise I don't know where I have been, so the range would be miscalculated. Now, can I insert the activation of the tiles? With that question, can I access the mesh renderer directly? Game object? Mesh? No, I have to get the components, don't I? That's 4 dot. I have to get the component in that case, which means I want to get into my room, and I want all those path points to be inactive, because that will be the way how I will show them and hide them. Which now reminds me I have to keep track which one I have highlighted, so I can disable them later on. Which means I will add a list over here with transforms. Do I set the transform active? Well, actually it doesn't matter, because I can access the game object like over the transform. That's completely fine. Enabled movement tiles, which will be a new list. Just real quick check. I have to do that in a function. Transform.gameObject. I can access it like that. And just let's save them as a game object anyway. Because I have to access the game object to enable them. But I need the transform to calculate where they are. So either way, I have to get one of those two parts. Now, I don't want to add the space where I'm standing, which means that one will stay the same. Now we do the next part. Targets, add steps taken, so we will add it in here. This will be a very long part of code now. But the good thing should be that I can copy that in to each other part. So now I get current room. I want to access however do I get the transform? I need the room script for that. I want to access the values in here. So I honestly just don't care about the transform on that one. I want to access movement tiles. I don't want to edit. I want a where. Now this where is I actually now have to think about it. X, which will be X dot transform position. No, wait, it is transformed already, so I just want position dot X. Is the same like steps X. This would be obviously the best part. Because it's Unity, I can't use that. Well, I could, but I know this will run into issues. This means I want the X position to be bigger than steps minus. Let's get the 0.1 range in there. You also want that X dot position dot X is smaller than steps X plus 0.1. And we need to end now. I want. What did it reset again? Now we want set. Can I do it like that? No, don't autocomplete, please. Can I? No, I can't do it like that. Can't I? I'm sure somewhere. Oh yeah, I know what I can obviously
I check those two. I have to encapsulate those. This works, yes. And then I need an and I have to keep sticking with X position Z in this case, where I will just copy the whole part over there and change the last bits over there. And then I need to encapsulate those. So this is very important that this works, which might not. But this should be fine enough that I can copy that in each of them. Now we want first or default. Dot first or default. Then I want to access a game object, and then I want that active true. And now I'm just blindly trusting this giant line, copy that in each of them. Yes, this one too. And that one too. Yes. Hello, Beta. We are, well, I'm currently creating the movement script, the movement logic, and the highlighting of the possible movements. Since the whole dungeon generation is working just fine, and we already had run the first error. Not set to an instance of an object. Which means I have to do intermediate step. I don't like ChatGPT. Have to fix too much after using it mostly. But learning new stuff or getting an idea how to write something is very useful. Alright, I want to access the game object. I need that one anyway. So it's fine that I create that one here. Temp tile, which will be all of that. There. Then I can just do it like that. Temp tile will be set active to true, but only if temp tile is not null. Then we will add that. And I guess we will also add the tile to the current, no, active, none, tiles, enabled movement tiles, so there we go. Now I can adapt each of those lines again. that one needs to be, and that one. That's all. And let's have a try if that works or if I get another error. Which I still get. Oh yeah, because I can't access the game object if it's null what I get returned, so I have to actually save the transform in that case. So we change that to transform, and I don't want to access a game object over here, but I want to access the game object later on over here. And let's repeat that step again. And that's the last one. Which means that one should now be working if it would work. Just have a quick look. I actually don't know if the path points are set active. No. I still get first a default. The default should technically let's see how many. It doesn't even add one room. Any direction should should at least have one path over there. And I don't have that one public, so I can't look into that. Just one simple function is key to automation and more bigger things. But out of curiosity, which language do you learn? Ah, Python. The only thing about Python is I can read it, but that's it. And that some things are very easier than in other languages. Which is very great for an entry into the whole thing. So now, why would that... First or default should be fine. Let's have a quick look. C# list where first or default. I mean, I could do that in a try instead of an if. I guess try would be the best choice then, since that one will throw errors, but in this case it shouldn't even throw an error. Yeah. And if you compare it with PHP, for example, you just add a semicolon to the end, and you have the same function. And you can remove the brackets from it. Well, it depends how you want to use it. If you want in PHP just to print, you will use it without the brackets, like that. And if you actually want to get more information about the variable you would use, you will use print f, and in that case you would on one part get a string of hello world like in the print, but you also get information that this one is of type string. This is very helpful if you need to look into arrays, and I probably actually type-code that one because it would be print R, not print F. Yeah, it's extremely helpful for debugging. So now, instead of the, if I actually can keep it like that for now, let's try it with single. Just that one line. Can I actually edit? No, I can't edit the message. So the typo stays forever now. But it's the... Is there by chance that this script runs before the room is finished generating? On the other hand, the player is all spawned in the end, which means... What the hell is that? Well, I guess that makes sense, that the room don't get its movement tiles. And you don't get the child, but the parent. Hello, Colonel Sanders, Chicken Belgiumist. Alright. Okay, now I know the visualize. It's not with that janky line of code. It is actually that I don't get the tiles. I get the first get components and children. This shouldn't be fine.
Let's make it easy then. We go into a for each. Can I for each get child? I can't. I need a for loop then. Alright. So we go for int I is 0. We get transform dot get child 1 dot get. Oh wait, I actually probably know where the issue is. There's one too much transform in there, most likely. Not kinda. Well, kinda, yeah, it is. Alright. Then we loop through that. As long as it works, it works. I get transform, get child number 1, and I want of that one get no child count. Is it is child count? Child count. Now, can I even make it like that? So this add range obviously doesn't work, which means we only use add, and we use a double get child over here. But the second one will be of I. And that one just will get removed. Then let's have a look how that will change things. Well, the arrow still exists, that's fine. But I get each path point now in here, which is good. That is at least one thing I want. Obviously, that one still throws an error. I don't get any points highlighted, even if I should. Now the big question is, why does that happen? So I have some movement tiles, I get their position in all of that cases. Yeah, I actually found the error, and it's actually some inconsistency with Unity itself. I already had that in my previous project. Well, I noticed that Unity does something strange over there. But in that example, just to use that one, I will most likely have already the example. If I use that room, I have the position X, and that is... if I copy that one in a notepad real quick, because I can't even see the E in the end. E -6, so we go 6 zeros to the left, so it would be a 0.5 zeros and then the coordinate. And this is honestly something I don't know why Unity does that. It is a small inconsistency in those auto-generated things, and I just round the value, which means I correct that little inconsistency there. And I will stream tomorrow and on Wednesday and then on Sunday again. Alright, object reference is not set to an instance of an object. It should be in that case. Except the where doesn't return anything. What actually happens if where returns nothing? Let's have a look. C#, where return null. It should technically empty. It won't be null. Okay, if I use a list where well, I can just Google that one. This one cannot be now. Yeah, that is something. Well, it's more like a stubborn way to do that. Because I just want to have that giant line, you know, the other way around, which I actually know which could work in that case, is use a proper link statement like I want the var, which will be just call it result. Now, how was it? Where I have to write that one. Wow, thank you, Nemo. That means a lot. Alright, I want to get my link from. I have to start with from. Just eating that one from here. Which is technically every programmer, if you have already something coded anywhere, he will just copy it, because it's far easier and faster. Alright, I want tiles in current room movement tiles. Let's see if that works. It should technically. So, where tiles. I copied the whole line, which I didn't want to copy. Happened so many times. I have already the transform over here, so I just want to access X. Now I want to access position.x. That's it. And I want it to be like that. Then I get an ant. Tiles. Oh, no, it's not an ant. In that case, in SQL it would be an ant. I have literally write two ant symbols. Getting that possession.x again. With the second line. Now the most important part will be encapsulate those two parts, because now I need an OR statement. I actually will start the bracket over there. where I now get the Y position, as a C position, not the Y, where I check this part. And then I need another end statement where I check. I'll just copy that one and adopt the remaining things. I will select tiles. I should technically just get one tile back. So out of curiosity, I will just log that one console dot log not console. I am in Unity. I need debug.log because I don't have any console available anyway. And I want result dot count, but as a function in that case. Now I'm curious. Do I get an... That's funny. Object reference not set to an instant of an object. Oh well. I guess I know the error, and this is completely stupid. Well, complete stupidity of me. Because the stupid movement script doesn't know in which fucking room I am. Alright. Now I want to tell you which room you are. We spawn a player in the dungeon map. Where is the fancy spawn player script? It's over there. I have to get the script of the player, which I don't actually save, which means I get the game object temp player. I accidentally added an equals in there. Instantiate returns a transform. Yeah, I don't care. Then give us a transform. I can use both of them. Then I want to access the script get components of type character movement. Character move, not controller. I want movement. I want my own one. Now, after we have that, I want to set current room. I have to say which room he gets, and that will be spawn point. Dot get parent. No, parent, which I can't access like that. Cannot convert from to dungeon. Or yeah, right. Because I don't have the script saved anywhere, so I have to get a component of type dungeon room, and that should be fine now. And I don't get an error. That's awesome. But Unity is still janky as fuck. And I don't get the paths. But I get one activated. That's great. At least one. Which is somewhere pretty far away. But I get one, which is more than none which I had before. Now, the script is still doing everywhere the same, which is true. Can I please make this list public? Just to see if I really only get that one single tile in there. Because that seems wrong. Enabled movement tiles. I get them all, but it is all the same tile. Well, I guess that makes sense that I always get the same tile. Did I... Steps X minus minus, which means I actually modify the step count. That one did actually work. I get the right distances to each of them. So technically I am stupid. Because I used the wrong I actually don't know how that is called in English. Well, I have to change the OR condition to AND conditions, because if I just check one of them, well, it will always return the first one, and yeah. If I write wrong code, then nothing will help me. But actually the first... No, it's the furthest one which you can find. So this one makes complete sense in that case. Now I should actually have more tiles highlighted. Or none, which is even better. I get no movement tiles. I have to need the end because it should be in that range. Yes. And I have to check both coordinates, which is also right. I check in a range just in case Unity makes some jank. So that shouldn't be the issue. Did I maybe mixed up the greater and lesser ones? So X is smaller. I really assume I mixed those up. Because... No. Should it be smaller or bigger in that case? Well, let's try it out. I mean, it's not working anyway, so I don't lose anything from trying it out. And it's a bit much to have my brain hurt about that. Let's have a look. I have no path points, which is what I expected.
But I'm pretty sure I need the end statement. X position X has to be larger than... No, the larger and the smaller than is alright. That shouldn't be the issue. Because I'm checking in a range which has about 0.2 units of space to move in, which should be completely fine. But actually, this will always return false. Because I am checking the position on X on its own position, and I don't really get the difference with the position on the player. So actually it never knows where the player is. I could circumvent that if I set steps X and step Z to the player position. Which means that one is even completely wrong. I need transform.x and position.x and I need a float in that case, yes. But I don't think that will make any issue over there. Position and see. And I'm just waiting till someone says if my mouse cursor is moving like crazy. Or at least someone notices it. English is hard sometimes. Anyway, it worked. What is 13 for tile? Why are you not... Oh yeah, that's the tile I'm standing on. 27, what are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to be. Can I just adjust the material? Though I know for debugging purposes that I'm very on the right path. Let's just increase it to 150. I still don't see them. Yeah, because of the light. That's true on the other hand. Far better. Why do I even disable the scene lightning in Unity? But it is actually highlighting everything it should highlight. On the other hand, I didn't add those to the movement table. Do I want them at... Well, technically if they are empty, they should be added, but... They are more like for PUI stuff, so I don't really want to go into those things. Otherwise, do I want to give the players the possibility to do so if they are MP? Then I would have to find out if something stands on those tiles, which could be annoying. which could be very annoying. But at least I get my movement range in this single room. Now the next part would be the movement to the actual tile I click on, and maybe adjusting the camera that it stays on the player character. Let's have a quick look. If I get Unity, why are you doing that stupid stuff? I want the rotation to be 0 because otherwise this will look very, very, very wrong. Well, I'm actually now on the player. If I go on the same height, then I would be in first person, yes. Which is kinda what I want, but not exactly. Which reminds me, I should create a camera object which actually holds the camera, which makes the whole camera movement stuff far easier. And you just go to the top over there. Because if I 0, 0, 0 that one out, and I will adjust my camera that I maybe have, let's say -5, 2 in that case. Would it be 0? Oh, 0 is fine. So we adjust this set. That one would obviously change if I add any rotation on the Y. Yeah, that would have changed a lot. And now if I say I actually adjust, I had that one wrong. But it's still fine. And now I say I get the copy the position of the world parameters and add that over to the camera object. I don't want the rotation, and I don't want that garbage inconsistency of Unity in there. Then actually I would have centered it on the player. And I guess that would be the best option now to adjust the lighting in the rooms. Or maybe highlight the movement paths. Unity, what are you doing? I didn't crash you, right? I think I have done something bad. Alright. And I will restart you. That's fine. Right, let's add that stuff I did beforehand. I want a camera object which is on 0, 0, 0. The camera becomes a child of that one, which I have to adjust real quickly. Let's remove the rotation and in that case I am centered over 0, 0, 0 with height of 7.5 and a rotation of 45 vertically, which means in that case I would actually not see the character, would I? .5, yeah, that's exactly the same stuff, which would mean I have to either rotate the camera more or I have to get a better view behind the player in that case. But that one I would need to control with code in that case. But in that case, the -5 would be completely fine to see the player. Alright. And let's just adapt that one to -5 and this rotation has to go. I didn't double click, but anyway. No. Let's see what kind of lights I can add again. Area lights. How much will you light things up? Well, maybe quite a bit. Let's have a quick look. I think I have twice you. No. Well, now that one would... yeah. And I would actually have to change that to real time, otherwise, well, it still looks a bit choppy. But that is setting stuff, though. I don't want a point light, direction light, nah. Can I change your... This is, but I can't make you round. No. This is an area light. What else do I have? I don't want a point light. And direction light I also don't want. I have area and the point light is exactly what I use with the torches anyway. Can I make you I could confine them to just the room. That would be very helpful. I mean, on the other hand, I could make a spotlight which has a radius of 100 then. Or because it is... I have to use the same range, and that one now would need to go up to 125. Oh. Let's get it up to 10, give it a range of 10, and then 100. No, 75, nope, 90. But then I would have to play with the intensity, and that all gets not really something I want. That's unlucky. So this is not something I would like to have. Like, what is... I have absolutely no clue for what that could be used for right now. So, I would love an area light. Area baked only. Because it's baked only, would that mean if I actually add that one to the prefab? But that wouldn't bake when I instantiate, and this is something different, I assume. Let's have a quick look. I want the ground plane visible, please. I want to add an area light, which will be 10 by 10. Oh, that doesn't matter over there. 0, 0, 0. Rotation is... I have absolutely no clue which would be the right rotation. Width of... I see. 2020 in that case. I want it rotated on 90 degrees. I forgot to zero you out. And let's maybe size 5. Then let's run that one. Which means I have kinda a light here. So I can actually change that stuff, but nothing would happen. Which would mean I would have to... But still I don't bake. It's a light, so... This wouldn't do anything. Yeah, like I have assumed. What else could I do in that case? A spotlight? I could use a point light maybe. But... This one only lights from the center point to the outside. In that case, the center point would be far brighter than the rest. Which I don't want. And I can't really change anything of that. So a directional light would be probably... I would assume it's best choice, but it isn't really. Because that would actually light up the whole dungeon. Well, I could see where I would... where that would be helpful, and... what exactly did happen with the path tiles there? Doesn't look right to me. Anyway. Those two should be accessible, and that one he stands on shouldn't. Oh well, I have to look into that again. Oh, fun. No, but we are on that fancy... no, this is the wrong light. We have that fancy point light over here. Which doesn't actually matter where I have it, unless I have shadows, and then it probably would matter. Kinda. It's still that bright if I have 0 intensity. That's insane. Do I have somewhere another light? I guess I did make somewhere something which I really didn't want to. Alright, now this one looks like it's supposed to be. Now, the best choice then probably would be a directional light if I actually say it looks down. And if I set intensity to 0, actually it gets dark. Size still doesn't matter. So I could actually say this light gives something more like a grayish tone, and then we give it more like a darker, so we would be able to see something, maybe not too dark, or maybe make that one a setting for later. That would be also a great possibility. This one wouldn't cast any shadows. One would be obviously too bright. right for what I want it to do. I guess 0.5 would be in that case. I don't know. 4 to 5. It's pretty dark again. 4 seems like fairly acceptable, I would say. Now, would that mean I can... Which means we have a light in here, a directional light, which points downwards. Position is technically just completely... doesn't matter. 150 on the RGB and 0.5 intensity. I don't want any shadows in there. And yeah, that's fine. So we have... Oh yeah, I forgot about the ground plane remove. And it should be fine now. That seems a little bit too bright on the other hand. Yeah, this feels too bright. Well, it might be alright. I'll stick with 3. I'll probably make that more like an setting. I could also use darker gray. Like, let's try 75 on each. Which would be now fairly dark again in that case. So if I set that one up to 5, you will see the contours. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Alright, I can't save them, which means if I go to the right, it is fairly visible, I guess. It would be enough for the purpose I want it to be. Let's have a look how it looks on stream, because that is most the issue. That still shows way darker than it's supposed to. Well, Twitch full screen looks kinda alright. YouTube, well, it says it's HD, but actually it doesn't look like HD. And the bitrate seems a bit off on that one. But it seems fairly alright-ish. Let's get back to auto quality. Now, what I then could do is change the text. I don't really want to do that. Actually, I really don't want to change the material on the mouse over, because if I do that, I will lose a lot of performance for weaker systems. On the other hand, I don't really show a lot of those tiles, which means I really can't can't compare it with my tower defense project, which every fucking tile would have been affected by it, which means the whole map would impact the performance. In this case, I guess I could do that. Which means I would on mouse over maybe change the transparency on the tiles. I want to keep the transparency, maybe make them lighter. Yeah, it seems pretty fine, I guess. Let's have one like I had before. I want to duplicate one. I give you the brighter one like that. And I actually can't assign that on runtime, can I? It tries to access wrong tiles. Let's say I want to change the tile in front of me. Its subtle would be enough in my opinion, honestly. Yeah, I guess I will do that like it. Having the tiles separated from the batching, could I lose a lot of performance from that? Does that light really cost that much FPS? That's something different. What is the amount of torches I had on the camera? Because those are fairly, yeah, they are fairly hungry, but they're always limited. So this is just for now. Alright. False alarm. That's great. The light is still active, yes. Actually, did I change? Right, I changed that during. Well, no, 75, and yes, that's right. I didn't save that one. Still interesting that the path gets completely wrongly calculated over there. It shouldn't happen because he has 32 tiles, which is definitely missing some. There should be probably about 40 on the other hand, are they? 32 tiles. There are 4 tiles, and then we get 6 tiles. And there are 16. Are there double tiles in there? Yes, I see already one double tile in there. Yeah, there are multiple double tiles in there. Which actually means I have an error in there. Did I forgot to change something anywhere? Doesn't look like it. And the 0.1 variance shouldn't be the issue also. I still have the targets which check, so I don't get the tile double. Interesting, that still happens though. Has this something to do with the direction, maybe? This one works completely fine if you go to the right, alright. If we go down, this one breaks like before, which could mean that the downwards is an issue. On the left tile, on the other hand, it works just fine. Left doesn't work, it looks like. That one has the same issue like before. It still works. Right on the bottom tile also works. Left on the bottom tile does not work. I didn't have any upwards yet. Which would be nice to have. Left completely doesn't work, alright. Still no top. Right bottom tile works, so this means right completely works, yes. So we have one tile on the downwards which doesn't work, left completely doesn't work. Actually, let's just for debug reason get that list into the public again, that I can have a view in the inspector what actually happens. Okay. Oh, our first top spawn and top right seems to work just fine. Yeah, we know top right works just fine. Thank you for repeating that. Now, this one is left, which now means I have a lot of double entries in there. Oh, so many. One floats, that's insane. But still, I shouldn't get any doubles. I'm still checking just a 0.1 difference, right? Not a 1. Just to make sure. 0.1 across the board. Yes. Should I try it
bit more stricter in that case. And now let's have a look. Do they repeat in any fashion? Yeah, very much they repeat. Which means... Why, what does that mean? It means that I calculate the C value wrong, but on the other hand this shouldn't happen. I actually... Let's just visualize in my mind how I calculate that one. I'm checking all ends and all possible ends. Then I check the steps. I just ignore that one. So this one always will reset if we get to one end. Except the targets, which means it contains that one already, but 12 elements, 6, so it would be over here with -3, 5. This would mean we go 1 to the left. And now 1 to the left. We come back. This means actually that transforms. Can I round to the second decimal point? Math F round second decimal or first decimal. I wouldn't care. Math round times 100. Yeah, well, no, that's not exactly what I want. But thank you, Google. 2 decimals. This one is a string conversion, which I don't want. Oh, well, yeah, I could do that. For sure. Oh, well, yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. I have to round the transform dot positions because that is the main issue I have over here. It's exactly the same issue I have with the room checks, which means I will round them. mathf.round. But to keep that in the 0.5 position, and I don't want it to round up to 1, I want to multiply that with 10. So we translate the decimal point, and then I divide by 10 again, which should actually do what I want. And another math f dot round, and then I shouldn't run into that issue. What I might works now, which didn't work before. Though that is a good sign. That is a very good sign. I would love to have some left ones. Right did work anyway, and it still works. It's fine. Top did also work just fine, so nothing wrong over here. Left now works like it's supposed to. That's nice. And the rounding did exactly what I wanted. I hate those decimal points created by Unity for some god no whose reason. Right. Then I have all of that. Now I actually want to have I have still the second material over there. I'm changing RGB values to 200. So now I really have to remember how I did that, and also I need a collider on those. That will be the worst part, because I have to write conditions that I don't really that I should be able to click through menus, and that will be annoying, especially in the map movement itself. Should I actually save the highlight path? No, then I should keep them. I will make that via code. It's the best option I have over there, I think. So show movement range works. I have something I remember. There's something I remember. How did I actually did that over here? Map generation chunks. You have the collider, the box collider, and all that fancy stuff. And you also have the mouse stuff. Yes, you have the mouse stuff. But actually, yeah, that makes the hover, but I actually think I have on the highlighter also some kind of script. Let's look into the tower defense project real fast. Highlighter, you don't have a script attached to you. Do I attach the script to code to you? That actually I don't know right now. It's just too long again. I have a mouse enter, mouse up is a click, but actually it's on chunk. Oh, this is just a highlighter, though. I have to do the event stuff on the tiles. Now, what would be the best way to access script? I have this get move set movement target, which means I can actually get that from the event handler of the tiles. I have to set the character movement script to the tiles, though that means that I can actually access the function. But how would that work on enemy movement? Well, this would work completely different anyway. So this one is actually just player movement because I well, no, not correctly. I would make a child with player movement, which actually gets show movement range and all that stuff. And yeah, that's right. It's still okay what I'm doing. So this now means I need script, Dungeon global game logic. This will still, well, it kind of belongs to the movement, but also to the dungeon stuff. In this technically global game logic, because I will use that, but I will actually sort the booms in its own folder, because that one already gets out of hand. And now I will add another C# script, which is dungeon room movement tile. And that one I want directly. I don't have a, do I have a prefab for those? Path point, yes. That's great. So we have the dungeon room, and I want to add the movement tile script to it. And then I need a collider as well. A 2D collider would be fine, I guess. Box collider in that case. Then 10 by 10. No. And I would have to rotate that one. How do I do that? This is an edge. Offset I don't want. Can you just rotate by 90 degrees? I actually... this is on the transform, so now this won't work.
Alright, now box collider it is. We move that one. Let's keep looking. A box collider would be something I don't want. I could use the mesh collider, but isn't performance related very good. Edge, no. Polygon, no. Terrain collider, timer collider, V collider, no. Box. I guess a box collider is exactly the best I would have here. Let's give it maybe a point 101. Yeah, that is fine. Do I need a trigger? Yeah, let's add a trigger. Because I think... Actually, I don't need a trigger because I don't use the physics system of Unity yet. Alright, so now on the dungeon room movement tile, do I have to get the component of the collider? That is something I might not know. Chunk collider over here. Yes, I need... Actually, I need... It seems like a chunk collider. Where are you? Collider. Yeah. Collider. Trigger. Chunk child body. Mouse collider. Chunk body. So much. Chunk collider, my collider, this collider. Yeah, actually. That means I have on the... Let's use awake. And I also need a private box collider I use, which I just call my collider. And my collider is get component of type collider. Do I need to specify my game object here? That better be safe than sorry, I guess. Then I want to use the mouse over. Which I can actually use in that case, can I? Do I need a trigger? No, I don't think I need a trigger for that. Let's get... Well, in terms of performance reason, I could add a child which acts like the highlighter. Which I could actually use in here. So on hover end, that one is a custom function, which I actually can just on mouse exit and mouse enter is that. Now comes the question to me, do I still need the reference to my collider? I don't think so. Would I need that? My collider, is that used in any form in here? No. And let's get rid of that. Alright. But what it needs is an let's be lazy and call it a public character movement. Here is the name even better because later I can use the player script. Yeah. The enemy won't use that one anyway, so that is completely fine. Now, on mouse up is a click. Funnily enough, the tap on the touchpad also on the phone also counts for that. Even if Unity requires about that you shouldn't use it, but it works. That's the funny part. We go character movement. Dot set movement target. And this will be the transform of this tile. And that's it. Great. Now on mouse enter and mouse exit. Now actually be that lazy. We add a child to that path point, which has exactly the same name, but doesn't have any of the components, except the mesh renderer. So, which would mean it is slightly brighter already. We add the material where we path point highlight. And we want to have it like that, and it's a bit brighter. It is default to disabled. Now if I look into the entrance, all of that should have been added, which it did. That's nice. Now I am the real lazy one. I will just transform get child 0 game object, but instead of false I want it to true. And I will on mouse exit just reverse that effect. And now the most important part, which I forgot before, and that whole script didn't work on the character itself. I want to add to the tiles, which now is a tiny bit resource heavy. I really have to test that on weaker systems after that. Is temp tile. Get component of type room dungeon room movement tile. where we call nothing because I don't have that. Oh, I don't call the function. I have a character movement and add this, which is always a reference to the current class or to the current object. Well, this term is the current class, or to the current component, which in this case is a class. It will be. It's more like a different thing if used in JavaScript, because that can actually mean even more. Because here I always just reference to this class with that, and in JavaScript you have far more different types you can reference with that. Alright, with that, actually, the movement should kinda work. The tile highlight works like a charm. The click, I actually don't know if it works. Because, yeah. Actually, I don't, because I know why this click doesn't work. Because we actually set in the character movement the movement target, but we don't specify that we are now should move, which is actually now true, and that we aren't waiting for movement anymore, which should be false in that case. Now, I want to outsource the next function to a... Nah, I don't do it in the right. I will just for each... Will I use a for each for that? Actually, yeah, I can just use for each for that. Where we have the game list game object. That I want the game object, which I will just call enabled movement file in enabled movement files, where I will just I will just set active to false, and then I will clear that list. Then this is all nice and done. On this one, I want to have an on enable, because this should repeat each time that one gets re-enabled. The character movement has become null. Now, hopefully this triggers before I set it, which might not happen, I'm not sure. In that case, it works. If I click over there, I move over there. Cool. And that's it. I moved one time. Fantastic. We are done. Alright. finish up stuff I didn't change. Waiting for movement becomes true. It shouldn't happen in here. That should happen in there. Which now should mean I should be able to move in my room. Yes. Fantastic. It even reminds which tile I had Howard before. Oh no, it reminds which tile I had Howard on that one before, on which one I am standing currently. That's great. So I can even move over there, but I can't leave the room because, yeah, why should I? But all of that is exactly what I want. That's fine. That's mighty fine. I should maybe reset those tiles on enable too. Let's quickly add that. I should just copy that and that's fine. Let's just move the camera, not on the Z-axis, on the X-axis, and yeah. Now we can move. We can even go into the darkness. Is this really a tile I can't access? Yeah, it's a tile I can't access. Mighty fine. We can now move. At least in one room. So our rooms will have some different logic. Do you have issues, honey?
I need more
Alright. You have the general movement done, and it was far easier than I had anticipated. The only issues I had were my own stupidity. That's the way to go. And the next step would be the changing of rooms. Now, how would I do that? And well, I did still made the lazy approach because I don't have the handling. Wait a second. Move over there. This time. Well, yeah, you're blocking, but if I would add a UI element, I just want the button, and this button is over there. Well, I don't want you over there. I want you maybe down there. Yes, exactly what I... Which means I have to check that I'm not able that I click through the buttons, which would then be relevant for UI, but that comes later. Well, let's make that really quick. We have our system Dungeon Master won't be accessible because I don't have statics. I have the event system manager with Hedge has the statics. I could give the Dungeon Master some statics. I mean, he will be only one time, and actually he doesn't have any other thing to do. Which means I want its first proper value, which he is managing, which will be public static which we call UI open. Alright. Which is default false, I guess. And now we add to the movement tiles on all of those if Dungeon Master dot UI open, and we especially want the false one. We do our stuff, which means we had that one there and also there. Unity is already shitting itself because I didn't close them like they're supposed to. And now it's all nice and dandy again, which means later on, if I have an UI open, which already I will set up the event system, which will be a public static Unity event on UI open, which is a new. And I want the Dungeon Master on start, which means the start will always exist now. And also I need a public private void on UI open, just takes its same name, which sets UI open to true. We also do you want a toggle? No, I want the void you are on UI close, which will do the reverse. I want on the event system manager let's event for that for close to, and we add to the Dungeon Master now event system manager dot on UI open dot add listener, which will be on UI open, and we want to do the same with the close one. Close and close, which means I just have to invoke those events if I open any UI, which makes the tiles not respond to my mouse if I have any UI open. And with that I will Excuse me? Sorry. I forgot a semicolon over there. Very important. So now this means the movement stuff doesn't work unless no UI is opened. Which actually is like it's supposed to be. The only exception will be the inventory screen on the right. But I actually don't yet have I actually don't know if I can hide an object behind it. Which would catch the mouse in that case. Or I will just add an hover event which will turn on and off that thing. Which also would be kind of an idea. I guess it's the best idea I could use in there. Yeah. So we have quite a bit of time left. Yes, nice. I didn't really expect that going to so smoothly like that. I mean, there are still some little nuances which are left, which I have to implement. But those would be far easier if I have the stuff which I need to implement. But I now can prepare the room change. And also I could prepare the rooms that they have their own movement tiles. I guess that is one important part which I really should do. So let's get it started. I want a nice straight view over there. We have the ground plane. We need on the second part. How did I call it? Path points. That's the right space where I'm supposed to be, and I want to add the functionality path point in there. Now I want the correct height of them. I guess I will default them to disabled now, because that's how they are supposed to be. Just check on the entrance. There's a path points, which is 0.001 higher. All right. That I want to copy. I don't want any of this garbage, and I only want my garbage in there. Now I have you guys to be active. Otherwise, positioning you would be actually it doesn't matter in this case, because I see
the tile, and I also could visualize it with that one. Now I duplicate you, you go one higher. I duplicate you both. You go one to the right. I did duplicate you, yes. One to the left. All of you get duplicated to move higher. You go right. Left, you go right. And I should have 6. Just to make sure. Yes, they're all where they are supposed to be. So I want 6 more. Now I only want those inner 4, which works like that. Fine. I'm happy with that. And I want the first 2. 1 and 2. Did I? Yeah, I moved you correctly. Now to make that simple, I want those 4. Move them up here. Which should look like that. Nice. I have 3 tiles in those. I will actually get you and you. I have to move 1 further than that. Then all of... Oops, I didn't want to focus. You're over there. You're over there. And you're over there. Then we do the same thing on the other side. You are still exactly where we want to be. Copy 1 up. Let's make it easy. No, just makes it visible. Then I can't really do anything wrong. Right. Left and right. Then I can copy all 3 of them over there. Get 1 up, 1 left. Copy. Move all the way to the right. Now we have 5 more. Copy them to the other side. 1 to the top. 1 to the left again. Now we want to have everyone except the first and the last tile. You, no, you, no. I want you. I want you. Nope. Up. Can I just... When I add that one. because... oh, I found it by accident. Fine. No, let's find the right one. That's the wrong one. Oh, there. Alright. Now we do exactly the same. But, thank you, Desio, and hello, Heiberg. Keep up the good work and get to a very good point at some point in the future. Now, did I copy that one? No, I didn't. Alright. Let's begin the search again. Close. Very close. Oh, we found the first one. And there we go. This one was quite faster than that one before. And now I can remove all those. Well, I disable all of those. Now we have the T-junction done. Let's move this to the other one. I want an empty, which I call path points, at 0, 0, and 0. Not path points, at 0.01. And we want to add our lovely path points to it. Let's activate you, so I exactly know where you are. And let's keep going and build that room out. Six over there. Now we remove the last two again. No, we only need that. And then I have to move that one, I think. Yes. That one goes for 2 tiles. And let's just finish that line up here. Then we move the last one. And the last one over there. And now let's get the tiles for the way up. And I have to remember that I remove the path points where stuff could spawn, actually. I didn't anticipate for that. And I really should find a way to make that through code possible, that I don't have active path tiles where loot can spawn, which would mean I could make the coves accessible for movement, which would be pretty cool in my opinion. It's the first one I have to remove now. Yes. And now I just need the middle pair. Why are you that? I actually did copy one time too much. There we go. That room is done, and then I have the straight, which kinda is the easiest of them. Create empty. Called path points at 0, 0, and 0, 0, 1. I forgot to hide them. I don't want to hide the whole room. Okay. Just... I'm too stupid to press the shift key. Like that. Here we go. And now let's go to the straight, where we want to add our path points as well. You will be visible for the time being. Yeah. Let's do it like that. For those. And that one will be the bottom one. I have 6 tiles for this one at least. Remove those. Those. And we can move through there again. And there we go with another bottom twitch. Nice. I was already missing them. The last few streams they were absent. Alright. Now the last few tiles. And that room should be finished like that. Then we select all the tiles. Disable them. And now we actually can enable on the script that they are make the room spawn logic, which means the rooms get all their tiles. Nothing should be crying if I press the play button, and nothing cries. Very fine. Do I have that public in any case? Yes, I have it public, which means I can actually... Yep, there I got all the tiles. Very nice. Now I just need the logic to change the rooms themselves,
Maybe I should attach the camera to the player so that I can really. Now I'm going. Did I give you a speed of 3? Seems fairly slowish. But I guess I will see how that turns out with the animations with an actual character. I mean, for the size, the movement speed seems fairly acceptable. Now the big question. My directional light is definitively not strong enough. 5 is too much. Did I have it for 3-5? You can kinda see 4 is. Five is for the player exactly how I would love to technically. If I make the light darker, let's go with 4, I guess. 4 should be enough, and then you can adjust it in the settings later on, which means I will just adapt you over there. And the next part will be the room changing functionality. I actually have to think about how would be the best part to let's get to the room spawning. Where do I set the connected spawner? Over there, temp room script. I have I have still access to the current room. This would mean, well, I don't have access to the current room script. Oh well, I have access to the thingamabob. Don't I have? I have the room reserved with the script attached, which means I can access it. Which is actually very helpful. This would mean I could... Yeah, I moved you right now. Guess what? I knew that before you told me. I could add to... I don't have the class in the dungeon room. Did I add the class in the dungeon map? No, there are just the coordinates. Dungeon room, item movement. Did I use a struct? I used a struct because I am that wise. Doesn't matter, it can still do what it's supposed to do. Because we now want a public dungeon room, which we will call connected room, which a reference next room. And then there's still the question, when can you change the room? Well, for now, for the testing purpose, you should always be able to change the room. Also, I could remove the... Well, not remove, but adapt the set movement, show movement range, because that will only be relevant in the combat scenario. And outside of that, you should be able to move freely through the room. Where we will also use a public pool. This means we have the second use for the Dungeon Master. Public static pool in combat, which is default false. Hopefully. It might not be false in some cases, who never knows. Well, actually, yeah, it's entrance with direct in enemy. This could be spicy. Especially if it's a strong enemy. Then I want in the event system manager 2 new events. This will be on combat start and on combat end. The good part on that one, I can attach more logic to the end one for calculating stuff or saving stuff for the calculation in the end. So those are even more useful than the UI thingamatics. Where is the Dungeon Master? Oh, I'm right on the Dungeon Master. I will just copy you two and will on combat start, on combat end, and in combat will be changed by you two, and then we add the listener on combat start, on combat end, and we want to address the functions. All right. Now what I want to change in the character movement is the following. If Dungeon Master dot in combat, we check default for false. And will return this function in that case. Before we do that, I want to iterate through each movement tiles room. Yep, I will just use for each for that. That should be fine. For each I think I have transforms saved in there. Transform. How is it called? Movement tile in dungeon current room. Dot movement tiles. We will set them to active And have to add. I need all three parts in there, which is now movement tile dot gem object set active, get component, and then we save that one in the labeled ones. Now what that should mean, if I now start the game, I should be freely to move anywhere in the room. That was the one axis I want to try to move. And yep, I can go straight to the end of the room. I can go back there again. Can move over there. That's completely fine. That's exactly what I want. Now we need to actually change the room. Now the question is, how would I do it the best way? I could add a corner piece or like a button to move to the next room. Depending on the light level, if I say I move in, all the corridors are pretty dark with just 2 torches. Who would have guessed? Now we get to the connector. That's the 2 wall pieces I want. Wall light node, connector node, torch clone, particle system. I want you disabled and I want you disabled. Now we have the complete dark room in here. It is just the outlines visible. We could actually see the torches. That is one thing I actually want. You have to be very... you have to pay attention where you go. And that is a very nice sign that you can plan ahead. Now, how would I actually want to show that, hey, I can go to the next room there? The easiest part, if I go to the connector node, this will have later the next room associated. I also could make the 2 movement tiles active if I'm allowed to change the room, which would be outside of the combat. But then I would need to know where they are, which would be kinda sketchy. I could actually, if I just add the cube in there, I want, you're fairly dark, aren't you? Let's hide the collider. Can I, like that?
And I still have the outline, but that's fine. Like that. Nah, that I wouldn't like. I could add a UI element which shows when you are not in combat. Where you could actually directly skip the room, but then I still would have to know where I would move the player to. Well, okay, I could calculate that. That wouldn't be the issue. Yeah, I can calculate that. That is alright. I also could use a collider for that.
But then there's still the question, how would I sign that you can move to the next room? I could highlight the whole room maybe. Make a small highlighter is good. Make a highlighter which encapsulates the whole room, and if you hover over the room, this could symbolize that you could move the room. Well, yeah, that sounds fairly nice, actually.
Which would mean let's create just a prefab for that. I want an cube for that. This won't block anything because it will be disabled by default. At least it shouldn't. I need a 20 by 20, and let's say it is maybe 5 high. But in that case, I want to raise it by 2.5. Let's call this cube room highlight. But then I still have to check where I can highlight that one. But this is something I can code at some point. I don't want to cut it out. I want to make a functionality prefab for that. Then I can add a material. I could actually use the same one over there. Then it's nice and transparent, nothing too aggressive. Can remove that from there. And now let's say we go into the entrance. I want to add that one at the third part. So I can actually, can I don't want it to be parented like that. Oh no, this is not parented, that's fine. I didn't save the material in new, did I? Material, find letter. Then we go back to the entrance, which will have the whole room selected because and on the other hand, now that I am in the room itself, I just can adjust it to the room. There's nothing blocking me from that. So it like 9 over there. No, it's actually 8. They 8.01. So it doesn't look clipping in there. I don't have to be in the bottom. I can change that one to 10 and then move that up. Maybe at a 0.01 to that as well, just to avoid the clipping. The height would be 3. But 0.1. And that would be the highlighter.
And how the logic will be for that one, well, I guess it's a tomorrow me issue. Now I would say let's I'm curious if I would now do a change to that one, like I need the box collider at like no, it doesn't work. I want to add physics there. I changed the room, and does it reset the room? No. Does it get the new? Yes, it does. That's nice. Which now means I can remove that thingamajig again. Remove, yes. Then let's add it to the other rooms as well. In this case, outlining the whole room would probably be better. Well, never mind. We will adjust what we can see. On a complete crossroads, this would highlight the entire chunk it gets. Which I would be completely fine with it. I mean, you see anyway that how the room looks like. Yeah, then just reset that on the entrance as well, because if I say it doesn't matter in this case, then just have it like not 40, let's say 4. On the 0 point goes up 2, and that's fine. Now it's like the original. Just revert all. That's fine. Now we have it like the main one. Which means now I just can say, let's make a 2 and a 4. That's enough. And now let's add that one to the other ones. Should be in the 3rd position over there. Boom highlighter over there, and on the straight one we want 1, 2. Boom highlighter, there we go, and now we say all are disabled by default, which now means we don't see them anywhere anyhow. And then the tracking and the remaining stuff will be done tomorrow, which seems to be the best time, because then I have the whole 4 hours left. And after that, when we actually have the movement through the rooms, I will finish the room spawns, which means torches will be correctly set. Maybe adding the first pure ice, or find something to code. But for now, this would be the basic function. The camera movement is very important as well. Well, I guess there's a lot of to do for the remaining 2 days for this week's stream. But for now, I thank everyone who was watching and who was chatting, and I hope we see us next time. I wish you a good night and a nice day, depending on your time zone. Till the next time.